up, guys? I'm here with Nichole, and I am so happy because we just completed our time working together. We're actually going to continue working together, but we wanted to come on and just talk about her experience going through my food relationship healing and discovery program. So, Nichole, I'm going to pass it over to you and ask you, like, where were you before we started?
I feel like I was in a pretty bad place. I mean, I had been reversing from my competition for a while, and I feel like the reverse wasn't going that well because not because I was reversing and obviously out of a show, but because my relationship with food was pretty poor and I didn't know how to stop what I was doing. And then not only that, but as I was going deeper in my reverse and the food, the food relationship was struggling, just kind of myself, like love and how I viewed myself kind of also went down too. So I just really kind of wanted to get a good grasp on that and get control, I guess, back in my life.
Yeah, and do you feel like going through this program helped you to get where you wanted to go?
Absolutely. I think throughout the process, I learned to actually like love myself and value myself and realize like, hey, like I am enough. And, yeah, like, okay, the weight went up, but, that's not all my worth. Like I'm so much more than that. And, an improvement season, I don't want to call it an off season. Sorry, the sun is in the way.
I know.
but yeah, so like, it's an improvement season for a reason. So I think that you should improve not only physically, but also mentally because, I think competition or even in life, like it is a big mind game. And if your head's not in the right spot, then, you're just kind of setting yourself up for some pretty bad stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that when you started, or I should say before you started, there was a lot of feelings like snacking on other things outside of your plan, feeling like almost like this out of controlness around what would be in front of you. And then, of course, you were able to move through that and, of course, find love for yourself and for your body. And like you said, regardless of what the scale says. So where do you feel like in comparison to where you were when you started that you are now? Like if you were to compare the two?
So before, yeah, I was snacking on everything. Like I was literally snacking, not because I really wanted it, but because it was there. And, I think through the process, you kind of told me like, hey, that's a scarcity mindset. And I was like, like, what is that? So I kind of looked into it, but yeah, like, I think that all my life, I mean, it was before competing. I think I just kind of had that mindset where, okay, like I need a snack, like I need to do this. And so before, I would do it, I'd feel guilty. I would feel like, hey, I'm a failure. Why am I like messing up? And it's so easy to compare yourself to other people and be like, hey, like this person is killing it. Like, what's wrong with me? And now it's almost like, okay, that was a phase. I'm over it, and I can learn from it. So if that was truly one of the toughest times or darkest times, that I've had in a while, then hey, like that's not the worst thing. Like I can learn from that. I can grow. And I just feel like so much better. And I think one thing that has improved is I was always the type of person that somebody would give me a compliment and I would say no. I would be like, no, like whatever. Like my fiance used to be like, oh, like you're so pretty, all this stuff. And I'd be like, no. And now it's like, I can almost say thank you and like actually mean it, not just trying to like pretend to like be like, oh, okay, whatever. But no, like it's really nice because then I'm like, I am like my own inspiration. Like I am my own motivation. I love it. Like
That's
it's just crazy. I just love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so happy for you. You've really come a long way. And just like, obviously, like how I feel about working with you. It's been a serious pleasure. And I think like you got these results and you're going to continue getting results because you've applied everything. And like as a coach, I'm super grateful that you put trust in me and actually did the work that we talked about. And then also found ways to continue applying that in your life, which is really awesome. So if you were to be asked by another competitor, let's say, like, I've been thinking about joining Celeste's program or working with her, like, what would you say to them or why would you recommend it?
I would say, you invest so much into your health. And I think health is it is an investment, and it's taking time to invest in yourself now so that you can be better in the future. And if you're thinking about it, well, then why not do it? What's the worst that happens? Like you're out where you started. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I feel like even if you go through it, you're going to get better because you're going to learn more about yourself. So I say totally like go for it. I mean, you're improving your health, you're improving your mindset. And if post show is something you're really worried about and you want to be a competitor long term or even transitioning back into like life outside competition, I mean, I think it's totally worth it. Your mental health is everything.
That's awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you. I appreciate that. Like, it's so funny because, like I told you before we started, like, I've never done an interview style. And, like, hearing it, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this is, like, I'm like, I shouldn't smile too much because people are like, that's so weird. But I'm actually, like, very happy. And that makes me feel really good because that's, like, as you know, like, that's really my mission. And so to hear that means a lot to me, and I appreciate you sharing so much of your story as well. And of course, this is going to inspire other people, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, hey, like, I feel like everything happens for a reason. And if anybody even takes a little bit of this and runs with it, I mean, like, you already made somebody's day better. So, I mean, I don't know. I love it.
Yes, even if they just like took what you said about like scarcity mindset,
Yeah.
like if they read my blog about it, or if they went and
Yeah.
looked it up themselves, or if they realize like, oh yeah, like I am always thinking about food because I think I'll never be allowed to have it again, or whatever they
Yeah.
might be going through, that could be something that changes. And even if they decide, you know, I'm not going to go forward with the program, but listening to someone's story and knowing there's other people who have been where they are, or knowing that there's someone who gets it,
Yeah.
definitely can go a long way, as opposed to as competitors, especially, and like you mentioned earlier, when we see constantly, oh, this person's killing their reverse, or this person's doing really well. Me as a coach, like my coaching perspective is, I'm working with those girls who think like who are putting out that image of doing really well, you know. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not all that it appears to be, and anyone watching, like, you're definitely not alone. Like, there's a lot of people who've been through it, and as competitors, if we can really support each other through that.
Yeah, and I think that there's definitely like a limelight on those people. Like, okay, social media, people show what they want to show. I mean, like, even when they show like that they're going through a hard time, like, you're still showing the best one. You're not showing like you crying, like you being super upset, just those really dark moments. Like, okay, that's not glamorous. Like, nobody wants to share that. Like, I don't know. So I think, yeah, like if somebody even is like, hey, like this girl went through it, like I want to know, like, okay, reach out to me. Like, I'll be honest with you. I've always been 100%, and I'll tell you exactly what I think. But yeah, no, I really hope that this helps people. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it
what it's all
will.
about, right?
Exactly. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much. I appreciate it. And to everybody watching, if you are interested in working together, or if this is something you wanted to know more about, feel free to reach out to me. If you're on YouTube, you can go to my website, that's celestial.fit. If you're watching on Instagram, message me, Facebook, message me, wherever. Just get in contact and I can help you through this, and at least see if or how we can move forward together and change this, or make a new pattern, or create a new lifestyle, or like what Nichole's experience, like really transform the way you feel about yourself and food. And that's what this is all about, and it's super important because it is going to impact you moving forward. So if you are curious about what that looks like, feel free to reach out and I'd be happy to help you. And Nichole, thanks for sharing your story.
Yeah, of course.